What's going on, you chicken strips and Nutella minions? This is Linux MLG, and as you can see, I am playing Advanced Warfare on the map Solar. My first competitive hardpoint match I've ever played. I got in 65 confrontations. I went 34 and 31, which isn't that good, but you know, there is a lot of gameplay, it's a lot of action, so it is a good gameplay in my opinion, and as well as we win, so that's always a plus, right? And before I get into the commentary, I have a couple things to add. I know this part you're like, oh, Linux, god damn it, like, just get on with the video. But the thing is, I gotta add a few plugs in before, just so you guys get some things straight, like the audio. I'm playing the ukulele music again, and not because it makes everything sound good. Well, it's true, but it's because this was one of my first streams ever, and so my audio still was bad. My stream audio is good now, so if you want to go watch it, everything will be Gucci. And if it's not, just tell me in the chat, damn it. Like, I don't understand. Some people just, I guess, come in to watch and they don't tell me that my gameplay is too low or some shit, and you know, whatever. But another thing is, I'm bringing back Villains Versus. If you don't know what Villains Versus is, it's a show match stream, sort of like, not sort of like, it is like PA organization or Rivalcaster. If you don't know what that is, basically it's two teams, they scrim on stream while casters cast. And so I'm having one tonight. If you don't know what it's like, it is November 9th. So if you're watching it tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, I don't know the Pacific or Mountain times. If you are watching it today, you can go check it out just so you can see for yourself what it's like. And if you want to sign up, just tweet at us. The Twitter for the Villains Versus will be in the description, as well as the stream. So if you want to go follow that, just so you know, you get a notification when the stream is on. And that's that. So let's get into what you guys actually want to hear. And that are my thoughts on AW. I feel like a lot of you don't have it. Either you're waiting to see if you want to buy it or put it on your Christmas list. And I definitely think overall you should buy it because it is a good game. There are a lot of negatives to it. 6 negatives. That's 3 more than positives, in my opinion, that I remember. And no, I am not one of those people that just all of a sudden label Call of Duty as a bad game every new Call of Duty. That's not what it's like. I've been playing this game for, what, a week now? So I definitely have an idea of my actual feelings on the game. And if I just labeled every new Call of Duty as bad, I wouldn't play this game anymore. So obviously I still have hope in the game, and I still want it to do better. And again, this game isn't bad. I still think you should purchase it. It's a good purchase in my opinion. But there are some negatives in the game, and every game has some negatives. So let's get those out of the way. And the ukulele music is gonna make everything sound good anyway. So I mean, basically it's like 100 positives, right? But so the first negative I'm going to get into are the buildings, at least. For example, on Riot, if you have the game already, you know what Riot is. And even if you don't, you've probably seen gameplays of Riot. But the thing is, there's buildings outside. Like, there's a main building called Prison. And that's the one in the middle. But on the outsides of Prison, there are like 3 levels of attached buildings, I guess. And so there's like 1 level, and then a higher level, and then 1 more higher level. And the problem with this is people just camp on the highest level. It's like Favela in MW2, where people would just camp in buildings or like the windows, or I'm sure there's other maps that I can't think of where people would just camp in the windows and things. You know how people always had problems with that, with campers just sitting in buildings? Well, there's a problem with campers sitting on the buildings actually in this game. So, you know, it's just a thing like in Hardpoint. If you play competitive, basically you can control the whole map, the entire game, except for the first Hardpoint if you're playing on Riot, because the first Hardpoint's inside, so obviously you can't control the inside from the outside. And but other than that, there's a 3rd level building on every side of the prison, so wherever there's a hard point, you could just be sitting on that. And of course it's hard to get those people off of the 3rd point, or the 3rd level building. And so even if you were to attempt to do that, because it's pretty important to get them off of it, you're losing time in trying to get into the hill, you know? And so it's just things like that. I feel obviously they can't tweak that, and the buildings are made for the exo movement, obviously, And so there's nothing they could really do about that, and that's fine. It's just, you know, a problem sometimes. And next thing is that the hit reg or the hit registration is off at times. Sometimes when they jump up or when you jump up, it just seems like you don't get hit reg. And obviously people are going to say, well, you miss your shots, or maybe you just need to practice more with jumping and things like that. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of the times your aim is on someone and you just don't get hit markers with them, which is pretty annoying, of course, as you can imagine, or as you've imagined or played, and other Call of Duties that happen sometimes. And there'll be I don't know, see, I wasn't really paying attention to my video, so I don't know if it happened earlier or if it's still happening now, but you can go back to it. I'm almost 100% positive it is the it's the fourth hard point in Solar hardpoint in this game. There's someone laying down behind a van and his legs are sticking out, and so I just slowly aim on his legs, and he's looking a different direction, obviously, and I just tap the right trigger, and my aim's on his legs, but I'm not getting any hit markers. Finally, I get the hit markers and I get the kill, but it like took forever. So it's like, where did my bullets go? I don't know. But moving on to the next negative are the spawns, which they've kind of fixed. Obviously, if you play competitive hardpoint, the spawns were absolute dog shit. They were terrible. But Fizzerp, if you don't know who he is, competitive player, he brought up an idea to add a 2.5 respawn delay, which has helped. But in my opinion, it makes it a lot more fun to watch and play and fast pace if there is no respawn delay in hardpoint like there wasn't in Black Ops 2. Obviously, like I said, spawns are a problem, so the 2.5 respawn delay is necessary. And they can't fix that though. They can fix spawns if they'd like to make it so we don't have to have a respawn delay whatsoever. Next, and for you public players, basically TDM seems to be the only game mode that's playable, because obviously you know the spawns based on where your teammates are is where the opponents are going to spawn, like opposite, obviously. Where all the modes, you know, you really don't know where they're going to spawn, like Domination, for example, if you like to play that. I love Domination pubs, but I can't play it in this game because the spawns are really messed up. And if you go to cap the opponent's flag, they just spawn right behind you, so it's like, it's kind of pointless, I don't know. But another bad thing is that the subs are pretty bad and it's AR dominant. Now the subs aren't completely terrible and unusable, but ARs are going to win pretty much every gunfight. If you're using the BAL, if you have a Twitter, everyone says BAL is BAL of duty, because basically everyone's just using the BAL, and it's like a sub up close, and then at far range it's probably the best far range gun, not as far as recoil goes, but as far as killing people and the amount of bullets, because it already takes a lot of bullets to kill someone in this game, which is another one of my points. They should make it so it's like one less bullet to kill someone, because it takes way too many bullets to kill people in this game. So now the last thing is uplink. Now this is mainly for competitive. The thing with uplink is it would be a good mode. I feel like it would be a good mode for competitive, but you can't force it upon us. That just makes people not really want to play your game, and that's what Sledgehammer is doing. The difference between Infinity Ward is they didn't have CTF, so we didn't really have any other option, which obviously is kind of worse. But the thing with uplink are some of the maps you put the goals like on the same side and then the ball on the other side, which doesn't really make sense. And then the ball, you could throw it so far, it's ridiculous. You could have one of your teammates sit by the opponent's goal, and then if one of your teammates grabs the ball, they just toss it across the map on some maps, which is kind of dumb. And so that's all the negatives, right? 2 more minutes left to explain the positives. Well, we'll get into how smooth the game is. Now, I did mention how hit reg is kind of bad sometimes, but the game is smooth. The quality is good as far as the next gen, because I did hear that the old gens, the quality was pretty bad, and so I can't really talk on that because I don't know. Connection doesn't really seem to be a problem unless you're host, and if your host is way too laggy. Now, if the other team is host, it's basically just going to be the host that's going to eat all the bullets, where the rest of the teammates probably won't have too much of an advantage. I don't know. I haven't played this game, I guess, competitively enough to say anything about connection. But other than that, the game seems smooth. The movements are pretty easy to learn, you know. It only takes a couple of games to know exactly what everything does. You just press the left trigger, or the left analog stick down along with the side that you want to move. So if you want to move left, you push the left analog stick down while you're moving it to the left, and you'll dash to the left or right. And then obviously double jumping, you just press A twice, or the left paddle if you have a scuff. So movements are pretty easy to learn. Mastering it will take a few games to play. And obviously you'll have to practice some with aiming and jumping, you know, double jumping and just things like that. You'll get used to it over time. And then the last thing are good maps. Now, I did have trouble in the past with even wanting to play pubs because the pub maps were terrible, but there are only like 2 maps, maybe even just like 1 that I can think of right now I don't really like, which is the jungle map. Everything else is pretty fun to play. There's 3 lanes, so that's good for competitive. The only problem with the maps is there's too much going on, but I can't, you know, give any down. I can't take off points from Sledgehammer for that because every Call of Duty is basically like that, where the maps have too much going on, but also there's too many entryways to the lanes. Like on Solar, on this map, there's like 4 or 5 different ways to get from the left side to the middle, to the middle to the right, and vice versa. And so it's just, like I said, too much going on. But if you did like this video, those are just my opinions. Leave what you think in the comments. And remember, even when you're ugly, guys, you're sexy. See ya.